The immediate roadmap for lunar exploration involves mining helium-3 at the South Pole and establishing the first long-term habitats on the Martian surface. These missions require heavy infrastructure long before the first crews arrive. We need landing pads to manage descent plumes and unpressurized sheds to protect mining equipment from radiation. For over a century, heavy infrastructure has meant concrete, but standard earthbound cement relies on a chemical hydration process that requires vast quantities of liquid water. In a vacuum, water-based concrete faces a fatal physical hurdle: sublimation. Before the cement has a chance to hydrate and harden, the water boils off into vapor, leaving behind a brittle, porous mess. We also cannot solve the mass problem by shipping precast blocks from Earth. The fuel costs alone for launching heavy construction materials into orbit would exhaust a mission budget before ground is ever broken. This forces engineers to use in-situ resource utilization. We must build using only the sharp volcanic dust, or regolith, already lying on the alien ground. Our standard engineering manuals are built on the assumptions of an earthbound environment, ample water, and constant atmospheric pressure. When those environmental variables vanish, we have to find entirely new ways to bind this alien dirt together. The primary waterless alternative for lunar construction is sulfur concrete. By heating elemental sulfur to 140 degrees Celsius and mixing it with lunar regolith, we create a material that sets as it cools. It functions like an industrial hot melt glue, reaching full strength in hours rather than the days required for earth cement. This mix is particularly effective in the permanently shadowed regions of the lunar pole. In these areas, temperatures never reach sulfur's melting point, ensuring the binder remains in a stable, solid state. On Mars, the chemistry is different. Researchers test starch-crete, which uses potato starch and a pinch of magnesium chloride salt to bind Martian soil simulants. In laboratory tests, this starch-bound mixture reached a compressive strength of over 70 megapascals, roughly double the strength of the standard concrete used for residential buildings on Earth. However, finding the peak performance point, balancing dust grain size, fiber reinforcement, and curing heat, requires navigating a dataset far too dense for traditional trial and error. Managing this complexity requires a specific division of labor within a hybrid computing architecture. Classical computers struggle to accurately simulate the high-density molecular interactions of cement binders. To bypass this, the AI orchestrator offloads these specific atomic-level simulations to a quantum computing substrate to sample millions of potential chemical pathways. The system then translates those quantum probabilities back into a physical recipe. It might specify 65% simulant and 35% sulfur, while setting the exact temperature limits needed to prevent the binder from outgassing in a vacuum. These theoretical recipes are first validated in a standard laboratory. Researchers make simulated lunar dust on a benchtop hot plate at Earth pressure to verify that the material can be cast without specialized equipment. The finalized blocks are then placed in a thermal vacuum chamber. This hardware simulates the extreme lunar environment, cycling the material between -150 and +100 degrees Celsius while submerged in a near-total vacuum. While no Earth-based simulation is perfect, these cycles provide the empirical data needed to quantify the risk of structural failure before a mission ever leaves the launch pad. Once the material science is verified, the final challenge is deployment, physically casting these concretes on a remote surface. Despite common science fiction tropes, the crews building these first structures will not be dexterous humanoid androids. Lunar dust is jagged and electrostatically charged. It behaves like a microscopic abrasive, adhering to surfaces and jamming the intricate joints of humanoid robotics. The effective workforce relies on rugged robotic arms with simplified degrees of freedom. These units use interchangeable tools, like heated hoppers and augers, to excavate, mix, and pour the concrete in bulk. Heavy lifting and material transport will fall to specialized six-wheeled rovers. These utilitarian designs prioritize dust resistance and low centers of gravity over human-like dexterity. Establishing a permanent presence on these worlds is not about transplanting Earth's infrastructure. It requires adapting our chemistry and our machines to work with the abrasive, hostile materials already waiting for us in the dust.